Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Wednesday. Well, shoot, happy generational wealth Wednesday to each and every one of you. Listen, so XRP YouTubers turning into Peter Schiff. What's going on with that? We're going to get into some of that madness. What the world? Look, the numbers for the digital asset space aren't lying to us. The numbers are the numbers. Might as well share some very interesting numbers we're going to share with it. And Van Eck confirms what we have been saying on this channel since the evolution of Solana. It's not only Van Eck confirming it, but Raoul Paul has said the same thing as well. It's about network adoption and going up the network adoption curve. Yeah, Van Eck speaks to this as well in a recent interview with Tony from Thinking Crypto. We'll share that. Interesting. I saw Crypto Eddie share that on X for sure. We couldn't upload anything yesterday because in the state of Texas, everything was out. All the Wi-Fi. If you are a Spectrum user, which we are, yeah, toast history done the whole day yesterday. A little brief coming in and out, but for the most part, it was out, so we couldn't do that video. Crypto Eddie beat us to it, but we wanted to share that video with you guys as well. I'll share it in this live stream today as well. We'll go over the numbers the market is doing, fam. What the market does. We'll share the numbers with you. If you can stomach it, we'll go over that for sure. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. My Solana, what is it? Jupiter Solana position, it's doing okay. We'll share that a little bit on Camino Finance. And I'm going to share some more stuff about the Jupiter exchange that I think is important. But I'll go over some posts on X. But I think the main conversation is to really, understand, our little thesis of know your teachers. Just got to get it. I mean, we're hearing some crazy things like the crypto propaganda media machine. We're hearing crazy things like Bitcoin pump and dump, Ethereum pump and dumps, and Solana pump and dumps. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. We're going to get into that as well. Man, I just found out that I screwed up my freaking flare staking, which ended up hurting my freaking flare drops. And I didn't realize it till today, which is a major freaking bummer, man. It's a major bummer. I missed a flare drop because of that. I was so used to wrapping and delegating my FLR and, set everything on auto claim and you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to remember stuff like you have to do with staking. I didn't realize it, never even thought about it with my flare drops with staking, because these flare staking kind of expires over a certain amount of days. You have to restake. And I didn't even think about that because that was my first time staking. I did not restake. But also, in addition to that, I was trying to figure it out, and I had to really look into my Bifrost wallet to understand that, yeah, I was no longer staking. Goodness gracious. Ah, craziness. Anyway, I figured it out, and I will be paying more attention to that for sure. So, look, a lot of great things going on with Flare Networks, fam. A lot of great things going on with Flare Networks. Let me make sure everything is good here. The volume is good. You don't need it that loud. A lot of stuff going on. So, new Songbird proposal is out. Essentially, elevating the code on Songbird to kind of match that of Flare Networks, which I think is great. I think it's smart. I think it's super, super cool. So that's good. I can't wait to vote on that. Get that upgrade going for Songbird for sure, right? We want that going on for sure. I may change my whole staking thesis just because I can wrap and delegate and not have to worry about it. What say you, Steve? What say you, bro? Like, I don't know. Got a lot of stuff kind of going on, a couple biz got some stuff going on. I don't want to have to, I don't know, maybe I have to set some alert or some alarms or something. I guess with advancing technologies, you can set some alarms, you can put some stuff on your calendars and get that alarm notification that it's time to restake. So anyway, I'm very new to the staking thing. I just from day one, I've been wrapping and delegating my FLR token. So yeah, one hiccup there cost me some flare drop. Man, I'm not happy. One flare drop. Not happy about that. Not happy about that. So we'll go over the numbers and we'll get into it as well. Should I do my podcast? I don't know if I should do my podcast. I won't do it this time. I won't do it this time. We're going to go over the numbers. We're going to go on for some stuff on X. We're going to get into the XRP YouTube returning into Peter Schiff. It's just not a great look. We're going to go over just the numbers for Solana, and it's not about Solana. It's about learning as a digital asset holder what really matters currently. What really matters currently. What matters is the network adoption. What matters is daily active users. These are the things that matter. We didn't say it. We didn't set the market. The market is saying this is what matters. The market is not saying utility. It matters. It's not saying it. Will it say it next cycle? Maybe. Will it take the cycle after next? Maybe. Maybe. But we're here to make money now, right? So interesting. So I'm gonna go in on this XRP YouTuber because comments, the stuff in recent video, not great. Not a good look, especially for new people coming into the space, especially XRP holders, new XRP holders coming to the space. Not a great look at all. All right, so I guess we're gonna wait for a couple of people to come in. So I'm wondering, with this market right now, and we're looking like 60 to 70 days of just ranging. My guy is saying, goodness gracious, Bitcoin could get down to about 50K as well. It's a possibility, not as likely than just hanging around 55 to 57. That's more likely. But yeah, 50K. And also, my guy is also saying, look, he said something I thought was really interesting. He said in his video that if your altcoin hasn't moved the way that Bitcoin has moved from the 23 to 70, if your altcoin is not performing, it obviously doesn't has to do is if it's not performing, you're in the wrong altcoins. That's interesting. That he would go back as much as 23, 25K Bitcoin. But we did the charting on into the cryptoverse. We did the dollar cost average charting. But we could do the lump summary analysis as well and see if he's correct. We just got to figure out where BTC was. When was BTC around 23 to 25,000? That's what he said. He said 23,000. I feel like that was years and years and years and years and years ago. Maybe more like 30,000 for Bitcoin, because I know Bitcoin went to 60, got back down to 30 again. What's going on, Victor Gonzalez? How are you, my friend? Where are you checking in from, bro? So that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. You know how Bitcoin does these drops, but he was saying basically we're in a bull run, and we've been in a bull run, an extended bull run. And if your altcoins haven't performed, maybe you're in the wrong altcoins. I'm gonna make sure I leave a link to the 2 of his videos for you guys to check out and do your homework for yourself. See if that thought process makes sense to you. But yeah, it's an eye opener. It makes you think, what the world are we doing over here, Victor? What are we doing over here? Right? All right, let me go over these numbers real quick. Because ranging Bitcoin is just ranging Bitcoin. Orlando, Florida, but from Puerto Rico. Oh, welcome to the channel, bro. Puerto Rico. All right. All right. In Orlando. All right, so let's go over these numbers real quick. Was I looking at any particular altcoin today? I wasn't. Let me refresh CoinGecko, make sure these numbers are correct. Stay tuned to the end because I'm going to go in on this YouTuber, this XRP YouTuber. All right, so according to CoinGecko, The total cryptocurrency market cap is 2.24 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is at 50%. Ethereum dominance is at 16.7%. By the way, Solana's dominance is about 2 or 3%. Yeah. That's and I think that is 1, 2, 3. I think it's Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think, and then the rest is spread out amongst all the others. So I believe in terms of dominance, Solana is third. Like we can argue the numbers, or we can just say, interesting. Interesting. All right. So Bitcoin is trading at $57,667 again. And it's down 17% on the 30-day. Oh, Ethereum is at 3,100 now. It went up a little bit. It's interesting. Ethereum is at $3,107. It's down 15% on the 30-day. And Solana is at $147 currently, trading down 12.9% on the 30-day. XRP is trading at 43 cents, and it is down 13% on the 30-day. It's not going to be long before Toncoin, the open network, which is Telegram's blockchain. I mean, I don't know, 6 billion a lot? I don't know. The open network, and by the way, this is not overnight. A lot of people think this is overnight with the open network and the Telegram blockchain. This is not overnight. Telegram's been around for a little bit. They got the hand spanked a little bit with some stuff from the Three Letter Boys, but they have rebounded and are in the game for sure. And it's just something that you can't ignore. It's interesting that that's a $7 price. Let's see. Let's look a little bit at some of the things tokenomics wise with Toncoin, or market cap wise. So 18 billion in market cap, fully diluted is 37 billion. 24-hour trading volume is 285 million. So 2 billion, 2.5 billion out of 5 billion is, it's okay. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. 50% is pretty good. Interesting, the Binance chain and Ethereum. Interesting. What else we got here? 2021, okay. 51%. And golly, I mean, it's 12, 13x. The high came last month in June, so it's at its kind of all-time high. This for me is a play in another cycle at another time for me. Anyway, that's the market, fam. It is just doing what it freaking does. Let me get to the chat here and welcome some more people coming in. And what's going on? Move accordingly. Good to see you, my friend. I appreciate you checking in for sure. Definitely appreciate you guys checking in. So let me do this here. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. That'd be super, super cool. Do me a favor, check it in the chat. Check it in the chat. Let me know that you're here. That would be awesome. I'm going to go over some Crypto X stuff here before I go into some of these videos that I want to share about the XRP YouTuber turning into Peter Schiff. I mean, what's going on? The Real Big Will's in the building. What's good, fam? Happy hump day. Appreciate you checking in, the Real Big Will. All right, let me go over some stuff really, really quick on X. Am I sharing? Yeah, share, that's fair. Flare, it's got some burning going on with the FLR tokens. 66 million FLR burned, $1.4 million worth burned today. I don't know if this was yesterday, day before. Nearing our 2.1 burn goal by 2026. This is on top of transaction fees and unclaimed rewards, further reducing circulating supply with network activity. There's a plan. That's a plan. There's a plan over there in that ecosystem. You can't ignore it. You can't hide from it. DS from Expector shared this, and I think this is an interesting point. He's quoting, I guess, like the CEO guy from Animoca Brands. This is what he says. Anyone investing in projects should listen to this. You are buying the potential. Understand the network effect of tokens. Look at what the team actually builds and delivers. It took $1.3 billion in 6 years for Facebook to actually become profitable and sustainable. Do you know any projects that have been around for longer than 6 years and spent more than that money? What do they actually have? And how is that actually benefiting you as a digital asset holder in this space? Something you got to consider, I think. Take a listen.
And so when you look at many of the altcoins, they were basically trumpeting the potential of the network effects. So people were buying the potential of something. But it's a little bit like buying into a startup that has hype, 5 years before its execution. It's kind of like, it could become the next Facebook, right? But, for the time being, many people forget that it took $1.3 billion in 6 years for Facebook to actually become profitable as a business and sustainable, for example, right? And there's many stories about that in the startup world. And I think altcoins are kind of representation of those startup type of tokening systems. Some of them have great potential and people still believe and follow those. Some of them essentially have promised a lot, but they under-delivered. And as time goes on, as you would see from any normal sort of support base, they go, wait, you made this promise, you failed. You made that promise, you failed. What?
That is such a massively important point. It's a massively important point. And this is why I say on the channel, I said on my channel that I was not investing any more of my dirty, hard-earned, nasty fiat into XRP. Promises are cool, but what have you delivered? For me, as the XRP holder, for me, what has the asset brought? What has the blockchain brought for me as an XRP holder? It's nothing personal. There's nothing personal. You can't show me a market cap and say, see, right? And again, I am taking into consideration the cloud on title from the SEC and the United States government suing. I'm taking that into effect as well, which is why I'm still holding as opposed to selling. Because what if we did go through an alt season? In the end, are we only basing our holdings on wind moon, or are we basing it on network adoption and actual utility projects? We're claiming to be utility maxis, the projects that we can use as holders. This narrative that's going around saying that the XRP holder is the red-headed stepchild as far as Ripple concerned, how is that working out for you? Because that's the narrative from some people. Everything about the XRP holder is just sloppy seconds. That's the narrative.
Why would you then be surprised that the token prices are collapsing? So you kind of see sort of a mixture of that. But of course, Bitcoin is kind of still the gold standard. And so when you look at many of the...
That's such a great point. And I always think it's hugely important to get perspectives from people who come from outside the space and come into the space. I think that's massively important to gain a perspective. And as an asset holder, it's a learning curve for retail to come into this space. Not used to trading, not used to research, not used to having mentors, not used to, learning who to follow and why you want to follow, not used to gaining different perspectives. We used to say back in the day, in my early days of sales and marketing, we used to say all the time that 95% of what you know comes from people in the 95% income bracket. And if that's true, which it is, then what income bracket do you think you will be in 5 years? Probably the 95%. So you got to gain different perspectives from people in a different set of the income bracket, because you'll gain different perspectives from that view. right? It's different to perhaps listen to a YouTuber, for example, as opposed to listen to someone who has a $50 million net worth, or from someone who is selling their businesses at nine figures. Nine figures, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, but when you sell your business, nine figure outs when they sell those businesses, are you listening to those people? Because those people are in crypto. Did you know that? There are exits, nine figure exit. Did you know that there are people with nine figure exits, plural, in the digital asset space? Buying digital assets and holding and securing them, who have YouTube channels, who have podcasts, who are sharing their insights. And are you listening to them? Or, what I would say, or listening to XRP entertaining content creators. It's hugely important, hugely important. Anyway, I digress. Let's go on to the next one here on X real quick. This is about the Federal Reserve, and I'm not going to share it. I'm just going to read this here because I think it's important that we understand who. Oh, I talk about old money all the time, and people just don't understand, don't figure out who I'm talking about. You got to get the people behind these private central banks. You got to get who they are. You don't know who they are, but that's old money, and it didn't just start with the freaking Bretton Woods thing. It was before that. It was those people have been around before the Bretton Woods. We just discovered Bretton Woods. You think that was the first meeting? Right? You guys to go way back to understand that. So anyway, in this clip, it says, this is a great clip on the Federal Reserve. If you want to know more about it, here's a quote. The secret of the Federal Reserve is that it's not federal and there are no reserves. It's a privately run criminal syndicate. It was presented as a way to prevent bank runs and market collapse. And 15 years after its inception, we had the Great Depression. Like, I know it's alarming for people, but I don't know what people talk about the deep state, all that stuff. Awesome, cool. But ultimately, when you get a group of people from different families who come together and decide that they are going to leverage the masses and keep the majority of their wealth for their families, that is old money. That's old money. It's just, you got to understand that is what it is. I was listening to not Raul Paul, but Patrick Bet-David, and he was interviewing this guy. I forget this guy who was interviewing, but he asked him, he essentially said, who is the old money? He asked the question, who is the most powerful person in America? And the guy said, you'll never see him. You'll never see that person. But there is a thing. It's the most powerful, and it's not who you think it is. They're not in front of cameras. They're not in front of cameras. I would suggest you start looking into Sullivan and Cromwell. Really do the homework on Sullivan and Cromwell. Really open AI and Chat GPT. Perhaps their clients have. I know you can only go back so far, but you start going down the Sullivan and Cromwell route, it'll give you some really good answers. All right, let me see. Let me go here. See if anybody else checked in. I always like to say, hey, Joe Buddy's in the building. What's going on, bud? How are you? Good to see you. Bald Silverback's in the building. What's good with you, bro? Hey, what's up, Siege? Glad to see you. Glad to see you, my friend. We're going to get into the XRP YouTuber turning into Peter Schiff. Like, what's going on right now? Once you go down conspiracies, bro, It's hard to come back. It's hard to come back. D Dre's in the building. What's good? Yeah, man. Siege in the house. What's up, my bro? Who has that much? What's this? Joe Buddy. Victor. I moved from Florida. Oh, talk to Gonzalez. I moved from Florida to Puerto Rico 15 years ago. Come back. We only pay 4% tax on crypto to Hacienda. Living in Orlando, you pay 14% to Uncle Sam and pay for wars. Come home. Interesting. Come on, my live stream is spinning. I hope, can you guys hear me? Can you let me know in the chat? I just noticed that my stream is spinning. Let me know. That's a Wi-Fi deal. The state of Texas lost its Wi-Fi yesterday. It was completely out if you were a Spectrum cable user for Wi-Fi. No worries, Dag Dev, BG. I appreciate you checking in. He said, sorry, I'm late. Missed your Yeah, we can. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay, so I can ignore the spinning going on in my live stream thing. All right, appreciate you guys checking in for sure. Let me get back to the latest post here on X. All right, Federal Reserve. Just a quick thing here. Look, not financial advice. I'm just someone who's big on Jupiter Exchange and what they're doing. Again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you, please don't just go out and buy this token. I'm just sharing kind of where I am within the Solana ecosystem, within Solana. Products that I can use, ecosystems within ecosystems that are building and growing communities with products that I can use. Focused on the retail holder and retail adoption. This is where I live. Look, if you live in institutional adoption, that's you. It's all good. I'm saying as a digital asset holder, I live in the retail adoption space. I want to associate and take my dirty, nasty, hard-earned fiat and invest in projects that are investing in me. Securitize, great company. I think Ripple may have invested in them. Maybe they're even a partner of some sort. They're not focused on the retail investor. I don't hate them. I'm just not spending my money investing in them because they're not investing in me. That's all. It's a great company. Carlos is a smart guy. That's all. And this is, this is kind of where I am. You got to kind of make a decision for yourself. Where are you? Like, where are you? I mean, at least at least you got to identify where you are. Are you investing your time, knowledge, energy, and resources, which includes your money, into projects that are invested in institutional side as their customers, or are you taking those same resources, time, energy, money, resources, into projects that are investing in you as a retail holder? It's really, it's that simple. But here's Jupiter. GUM is more than a sweet treat. It's the future of finance. It's a project. It's a thing they're doing. It's called the Giant Unified Market, right? This is a guy leading something and sharing his vision for where he wants to see his exchange go. Just one place. We want to help establish the Giant Unified Market, a world where everything is available on chain with a single swap. I would highly encourage my guys from Anados Finance, Orchestra Finance, DexFi.pro to study other people in the space with their vision. And can you do this on the XRP? Whether it's a cat or dog memes, real world assets such as bonds or equities, or consumable products like wine or energy drinks, all in one place on the Everything Exchange. It's the Jupiter Exchange. We aim to build the best community revolving around a powerful product and maintained by the most hardworking team members. Thank you for joining us on this journey to the Giant Unified market. Yeah, good for them, right? Good for them. And just here real quick. This is where I am on the Jupiter Exchange, which I thought was pretty cool. I love this value average thing. I got to play around with it and see. So in addition to a dollar cost average strategy that you can simply input your money and it kind of works the thing for you. It puts some few inputs in there and it does it for you. I love it. Absolutely love it. You can pick every minute. You can pick every day. You can pick every week. You can pick every month over a certain amount of orders, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. It says enable pricing strategy. Advanced pricing strategy allows you to set a minimum and a maximum price range as well. Do you understand? This is a useful product for, it's not just retail. Obviously, other people can use it, but it is available for us. You ain't got to do no credit investor stuff to leverage this tool. You understand? This is what old money in the banking system is hating. These things that are made available to the average Joe and Jane outside of the traditional financial market that has failed the world, not just in the US. The US is the most successful out of the failure. You got to get that. The US is the most successful out of the failed system. Crazy. You got a little DCA strategy, and they got something called value average, which I think is just, it's phenomenal. And my point is innovating and producing something. I think it's just smart. I'd have to learn more about it and see how it works. I just love this. And this is, whether you realize it or not, this is encouraging savings. Like, people don't understand DCA. It's a form of saving, right? You know how the US is probably the worst saving nation out of the G7 nations? Probably the worst saving. I mean, it's got to be less than 3%, 2%. It's brutal in terms of savings. People forget one of the benefits of the digital asset space is it gets back to fundamental sound money-making principles. Right? We kind of lost our ways in a lot of ways when it comes to that. Where do I want to play this? I don't want to play this yet. I'll play that later. And I'll show that later. So we're going to get into the XRP YouTuber turning into Peter Schiff. Oh, Joe says, my mom still has no power near Houston. Oh, man, I got family in Houston. I didn't know. I didn't even think about that. I gotta reach out to them and he was good. Anybody else come in? No. All right. So let's get into this this entertaining XRP entertaining content creator. Make sure I find it. Who's turning into Peter Schiff. I think this is just you just got to be careful in choosing your teachers, right? Let me get into it. Take a listen. Now, this is going to be a little bit, I'm going to let this play for almost 6 minutes, okay? Probably. We'll see. Then I'm going to get to another part of it.
All we see is all these people whining about the price and all that.
I just think that's interesting. All I see is people whining about the price and all that. Are we not here to improve our financial situation and better our lives because of improving our financial situation? Are we not here for that? And I get that. I get the people who focus merely on the price. But if you've been here and you've been invested in XRP since 2016 and 2017, you're not really focused on the price. What you're really focused on, and when you quote unquote, like he says, not me, when he says people are complaining, what they're really doing is speaking to the lack of network adoption. Network adoption drives demand for the native asset of the blockchain. Demand will create value added to the price of the asset. That is what is not going on the XRPL. It's not taking place. And if you got people who have been in since 2016 or 2017, that's 7 to 8 years. And they have a right to expect a thing, not demanding something from whatever, but expecting to have their life have been improved because of their financial investment in an asset. Same as the people invested in gold and silver. It's as simple as that. And you just get him and his bud here trying to put blame on the asset holders, on the XRP holders. When quite frankly, a lot of the blame belongs to the content creators.
But if they really understood what all of this is and understood how early that we all are and understood that most of what we've seen has been just Wall Street market manipulation and all this, not the stuff that's really going to be used yet.
So what we've been seeing since the inception of the digital asset space is Wall Street market manipulation, and not what the assets are going to be used for yet. And this is coming from someone who doesn't understand markets and business. The market decides what it wants, and then smart people who know how to make money adjust to what the market wants. I can't begin to say that enough. The market decides what it is that we want. And then smart people who know how to run businesses and investors who know how to make money adjust to what the market wants. That's how goes it. That's how it goes. You understand? And he doesn't understand that. You know? A lot of times it's because you've never been in marketing. You never run a business. You haven't dealt with people to understand how people operate. So you don't know. Right? Like you don't know. And it always kind of, I think, always kind of depends on your path. What's your path been like? Like, have you been early in business? Not a job, in business. Have you been early in sales? Even if that job is a sales job, have you been early in that? What I mean, 18, 19, and 20 years old. Have you been in sales where you have to call a person and have a conversation with a person and learn what it is that they want and what they don't want? Like, not you having something and trying to sell them something. Like financial planners don't get to choose, most of them, financial planners, they don't get to choose the product line. Product line is chosen for them. They don't get a chance to suggest something that's better, and they know it's better, something's better. But if their particular company doesn't have that product, they don't share it. the financial planning, financial advisor thing is hamstrung in so many ways. It would blow your mind. Example, a lot of financial planners, they have a job. Did you know that they can't have another source of income? Yeah, pretty sure it's the same way it is today. I know back in the day when I was in the 80s and 90s and from I got back into marketing business stuff in 2012 to 15 as well. And we exited. Um, that was always the word from financial planners, RIAs or not. Yeah, they say we can't have this other income thing. Did you know that? What kind of perspective do you have really when you're locked in to one way of thinking and one way of doing something? That's his problem, in my opinion. All right, let's get back into it. See how much of this I want to really share.
Just about everything we've seen in the pre-regulatory time period has just been these Wall Street people knowing that they can manipulate the prices and make a lot of money while there's still this uncertainty, knowing that once there is the certainty and actual regulations, everything's actually in place, that's when only the ones that are where the utility are gonna win.
And so when I hear that, I get it, and there's some truth to that. But does that make, and I'm going to share something that he shares later, but does that make Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana pump and dump ecosystems? If we get regulation, does that somehow change the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana ecosystem? Do you think? Do you think it somehow changes that with regulations? Another question is, do you think that regulations or the lack of regulation is the reason for the non-adoption of the XRP? I'm not answering it for you. I'm asking you to think about it. Do you think that's the reason? The reason why the XRPL that everyone keeps saying is open and decentralized, that the reason why the network adoption is not there is because of the lack of regulation. So in other words, the fact that XRP has legally not been deemed a security doesn't matter. What really matters is the regulations. Love you. I think these are just excuses for the reality that an XRP holder has to face. It's a reality. And I'm one of those people. I hold XRP. Bunches of it. Because from my view, the digital asset space or the digital asset marketplace has decided what's important, what matters, what drives the value of the asset. We've come together as a market and we have decided what it is. And a couple of things is how many people are on the network, how many people are building on the network, how many projects are active that people can use. All of these things matter. All of them matter. All of them matter. And what a lot of people forget is Bitcoin mining is not going down. Bitcoin mining is expanding. It's not going down, which means there are more people on the blockchain, not less. And like Raoul Paul says, the Bitcoin net blockchain is the fastest adoption of technology in the history of technology. It is what it is. People keep wanting to try to make sense of it, like trying to make sense of why the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, instead of what people who know how to make money and keep money do is they say, okay, what's the game? What is what it is? And then adjust accordingly. The greatest adoption of technology. What is the greatest adoption of technology ever? Oh, it's the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay. I just had a 9-figure exit. I'm putting 75% of my liquid net worth in that. And someone who's never had those kind of exits ever is saying, well, it's because it was first. Oh, it's because this. Oh, it's because that. Instead of saying, this is what it is, and adjusting accordingly. That's the difference, fam.
And I believe a lot of these that have been pumped and dumped for the last 10 years will fall by the wayside then. And
I want you to think about that. Things that have been pumped and dumped for the last 10 years. Let me get back to the chat. What? I'm trying to think of a project that is in the top 10. Let's get to the chat here. We're going to look at the top 10 tokens and check the inception and see if anything has been around that's still in the top 10, as long as the XRPL has been around. What's going on, Michael Marchese? Alex, he's in the building. What's good, bro? Right? Let's take a look at the top 10 real quick. Right? We want to hang out in the top 10, and we'll even check the top 20 and see in the top 20 two things. They have pumped and they have pumped and dumped, and two, they have been around for at least 10 years. So been around for at least 10 years, and they pumped and they dumped, which means they came and see you later. Let's take a look. Let's take a look together. Because the narrative in the XRP entertaining content group of creators is they keep changing and hopping to another narrative to try to justify what they've heavily invested in hasn't returned what they hope it would have returned. All right. Anybody say Bitcoin's a pump and dump? Ethereum's a pump and dump? Binance chain. Now, both of these have been around for longer than 10 years. Have BNB, how long has the Binance chain been around? The BNB token. Let's see if we can take a look. See if we can't go to max. 2017. So it hasn't been around 10 years. In other words, what has also been around as long as the XRPL? That was a pump and dump that Wall Street manipulated so that they can make money. Hong Kong certainly hasn't been around for 10 years. Dogecoin certainly has not. Cardano, excuse me, is not in the top 10, but let's take a look at Cardano. Yeah, I don't think it's been around that long as well. It's 2017 as well. Is that right? Maybe that's when they started tracking it, but that sounds about right. And I guess you would have to decide for yourself if Cardano is a pump and dump to you. It's not in the top 10. It is in the top 11. Do you feel like there's no building going on there? There's no devs going on there. I'm not very much into the Cardano ecosystem. I feel like XRP and Cardano probably have performed just about the same. Avalanche, certainly not 10 years. Shiba Inu, certainly not 10 years. Polkadot, not 10 years. Bitcoin Cash has been around for a minute. But I felt like that fork was 2017, 2018. The fork of Bitcoin Cash, yeah, it's 2017, kind of the same time frame. So where is it? Where are these alleged pump and dumps that the supposed adult in the room is talking about? All right, let's listen to a little bit more.
So yeah, it's like buying Manhattan real estate in the 1800s. I think that's the perfect illustration. Now, if you look here, just in Germany, government is now left with 22,800 bitcoins. They're going to clean up on aisle 4 the Bitcoin mess is what they're having to do, and you have to wonder. Speaking of manipulation, if they knew that a lot of these things, these chickens were going to come home to roost, the Mount Gox Bitcoin that was going to have to be settled up. And you have to wonder if they didn't time these ETFs for this moment as well. Here is
timing the ETFs. You have to wonder if they've timed the ETFs. Yeah, it's a Bitcoin mess. It's a Bitcoin mess. Wall Street manipulated and timed the ETFs. I'm going to tell you what I think the ultimate reason for this whining and complaining from this XRP entertaining content creator. Let me go here. I'm going to tell you what I think is the real reason. It's pretty much the same reason that Raoul Pal said to Peter Schiff when he was they were both on Tom Bayou's podcast not too long ago, a few months back. And I think it was March. All right, let me go here. Now, I just want you to listen to this. I'm reading this post here. It says the same crypto propaganda machine that pushed Bitcoin, Ethereum is in overdrive pushing Solana now. That's the post on X. Let's take a listen here.
the propaganda machine is live and it is working overtime. They have now added Solana to their Bitcoin Ethereum sales pitch and pump and dump. And so now the CBOE is trying to go in, they're trying to get, they've asked the SEC to let asset managers, VanEck and 21 Shares, bring Solana-based exchange-traded funds to market. And of course, you've got Raoul Pal, who has absolutely no shame. If he smells cartoon monkeys, he smells money. And it doesn't matter if the blockchain goes down every other month, like Solana, that's it.
Which is incorrect, which is 1000% incorrect as well. And I'm going to prove that to you in a video. So now it's not, the Bitcoiners and the maxis. Now it's the crypto propaganda media machine. Early on, it was the Bitcoin maxis and they were doing all this stuff. Now it's another excuse for why the asset that he holds is not winning. It's now the crypto propaganda media machine. right? It's not the market. It's the crypto propaganda media machine. And he even goes on to call out Raoul Paul, who he says has no shame. Calls out Raoul Paul, who has no shame, he says. I can't think of a person who has done more for the digital asset space community than Raoul Paul, and providing insights that the vast majority of retail would not have access to. Insights and access. And the nerve of this XRP entertaining content creator to call out Raw Paul for having no shame. Everybody is here trying to improve their financial situation so that they can improve their life. Everybody. Right? And are we here to suggest that Raoul Paul has been a net value negative to the digital asset space? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying? XRP Kelly says, so are you saying that Bitcoin and Solana are a better buy than XRP? I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is the numbers are out. The statistical data is out. If you're here to improve your financial situation, in order to improve your lifestyle, the numbers are out. Bitcoin has the highest return on investment in the history of money. In the history of money. It's followed by Ethereum. And I think Solana might have even replaced Ethereum. What XRP entertaining content creators want you to believe or think is that it's not about network adoption and going up the network adoption curve like the market is saying. It's about technology. It's about utility. That's the thing. And what I am saying is that the market, the digital asset space market, has says, no, it is not about that. We're not at utility. We're not at utility. It's not to say that utility is important. We're not at utility. And if you're here to improve your financial situation, thus improving your lifestyle and your quality of life, you have to accept what is the thing, not what we want the thing to be. You can't make money on a thing that you want to happen that is not happening. I love you. This is what I'm saying, XRP Kelly. XRP Kelly says, but you have to have money to get a decent amount to make money from it. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You have to make money to get XRP in order to make money from XRP. The money you put in is the money you put in. 100% of $10 is 100%. 100% of $100 is 100%. 100% of $1 is still 100%. Nothing changes. What does change is the asset that you're putting your $100 in. What is the net year-on-year return of the asset? And the reason why you want to know that is because you want to be able to add to that asset if it has a positive net year-on-year return of that money, of that, right? That's what you want. And those numbers are out. You don't have to guess what the net year-on-year return for Bitcoin is, or what Ethereum is, or what Solana is, or what Avalanche is, or what Cardano is. You don't have to guess it. It's out. The numbers are out. This space has been around since 2009. The numbers are there. The statistics, not my numbers. Those net on net year returns showed you your return for investing in an asset. Okay? Right. I mean, I get it. Right? That's what that is. That's what you want. You want an asset, right? That you can, the year-on-year return where you can accumulate and add to it and leverage the year-on-year return of your money. Compounding. That's what you want. In other words, it's a steady adoption. It's a steady network adoption. It has network effects. That's what you want. Here's another way to think about it. I would encourage you to just think about it for a second. I mean, come to your own conclusion. If you had to guess, if you put $1,000 in XRP and you compounded it every year, and you put $1,000 in a Bitcoin and you compounded that every year, do you know which one would give you a better return for your investment? And we'll pick not even since the inception of Bitcoin, we'll just pick from 2013. Right? Do you know which one? Do you know? Because it's important to know. Because if you don't know, then how can you make a better decision with your money? The idea is it's this dirty, nasty fiat that's in a failing financial system, and you're coming into what you believe to be a new financial system that is winning, because the data says that the return on Bitcoin is in the millions and millions and millions of percentage gain. The greatest return on investment ever. You don't get a better return with XRP Kelly. You're betting on a potential return with XRP. The return numbers are already in for XRP to date. The numbers are in, and it is not outperforming Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Net year over year. Right? And you could say, well, the XRP lawsuit and that Clyde on title had something to do with it. Did you think something happened with Bitcoin when China banned Bitcoin? Do you think that had some effect when India banned Bitcoin? All assets and asset classes go through what we call the winds of life. The winds of life. The reality is the same winds blows on us all. The same winds blows on us all. We've all had winds that blow and look to destroy you. I'm not sure if there's a bigger digital asset space wind than Bitcoin and India. Was it China and India, and I think maybe one time even Australia, all this banning Bitcoin stuff, banning Bitcoin stuff. Right? Same wind blows in us all. So, and so the numbers are internet, and thank God that we have places where we can plug in numbers and see how the asset is performing. I do the dollar cost average strategy on this channel. I've been doing it every live stream for the last few live streams. I plug in different assets and I plug in different time frames. It doesn't mean that will change, but the numbers are in for the blockchains with network adoption and going up and to the right on the adoption curve and going up and to the right on daily active users and going up and to the right on builders. Those are the numbers. It's not what we hope is going to happen. It's what is happening. Right? So anyway, let me get back to, I think I shared that, right? So my thing with this XRP entertaining content creator is this. It's something that Raul Paul said that I think is spot on. He said this to Peter Schiff in a video when he was being in this interview. Let me find the interview. Is it this one? Him and it was a little kind of debate. And in this, Tom was getting extremely frustrated with Peter Schiff because he would just never own up to his just inherent bias to gold. Like he wouldn't own up to it. It was no, it's not my bias. It's Bitcoin has no value, has no properties. It was interesting to listen to this video. But here's the thing that I'll say. I just want you to think about something for a second, because it doesn't mean that going forward, it doesn't mean that XRP can't eventually get you to return on your money that you were hoping to get. It doesn't mean that. What it does, what I am saying is, up until this point, you can compare it to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, or even to Solana if you want, and see something like a dollar cost average strategy and see what it has returned you. If you would apply that strategy, and then you can take a bet going forward based on what happened. You can take a bet going forward that if Solana is a currently net dollar cost average strategy is yielding you 300%, then you can bet on that going forward because you have the numbers. It's a risk reward bet. 300%, for example, 250, 300%. For example, you can bet on that going forward. That's all I'm saying. But if an XRP is 10%, XRP is 20%, XRP is 30%, that's what it is, what it is. And a dollar cost average strategy. I dollar cost averaged into XRP for 14 to 16 months straight. 14 to 16 months straight. This is my dollar cost average. This is none of the lump sum stuff that I was doing. My dollar cost average strategy was $1,500 to $2,500 every single month. So I'm familiar with, having a little bit of XRP. And what I'm saying is that return on that investment has statistical data. And when you look at the data is what it is. The return is what it is. And it doesn't compare to Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's all. That's what I'm saying. If I did the same thing with Bitcoin, I would have made more money. If I would have done the same thing with Ethereum, I would have made more money. That's all. And it doesn't mean that I'm certainly not going to sell my XRP. I'm not going to do that. But I do know this. I do know this. Like Jungle Inc. says, it's time to get wins. I don't see the drift protocol on the XRPL like I see it on Solana. I don't see MarginFi on the XRPL like I see it on Solana. I don't see Camino Finance like on Solana on the XRPL. I don't see it. We keep talking about utility when it comes to XRP and the XRPL, and I don't see anything on the XRPL as an XRP holder that we can use. Do you understand? And it's been 12 years. We didn't set it up. Like my mentor says, I didn't set up the setup, but that is what it is. And somewhere along the line, I had to come to the conclusion that I can't keep betting on the future. I have to bet on the present and what has happened, because I want to compound the wealth. We don't know if a next level blockchain is going to show up on the scene that can move anything of value in 1 to 3 seconds for less than a penny. We have no clue if that's going to happen. If you look at Casper right now, Casper is saying, no, we're that Bitcoin. We're the vision of what Bitcoin was supposed to be. That's what Casper's saying right now. And again, I'm going to point this out. I'm not saying I'm selling anything of my XRP. I'm not. But what I'm saying is I can't continue to invest on the future. I personally have given it 8 years. Oh, 7 years, technically. My first XRP purchase was in 2017. And it's not personal. It's not personal. It's an awakening to the reality. And the only way I got awakening to the reality is listening to people who were massively successful before they got into crypto. Before they got into crypto. Why is that important? Because otherwise, people are going to come to you with a bias. They're going to come to you with a bias about what's going on. That's all. I mean, there's a reason why they have Bitcoin maxis and ETH maxis and Solana maxis. There's a reason for it. But if I get someone with, 10, 20, 60, $70 million exits multiple times, and if I get someone who has 9-figure exits in business multiple times, saying, CJ, you have got to look at this from a different perspective. I have to listen. I have to listen. That's what I'm saying to myself. XRP Kelly, yes. XRP Kelly says, so do you think XRP is going to have its bull run this time? Yes, absolutely. Remember, 2020, 21, I mean, not only did we have the lawsuit, I mean, the cloud on title, the lawsuit was still active. There was no XRP is not a security, and there was no access besides Uphold. I mean, technically besides Uphold, to access XRP. We don't have that now. So heck yeah, XRP is going to have a bull run. Retail, is no different than you or I when we first got into this space. The new retail that's going to begin to come in the latter part of this year. They're no different. They're going to go over to CoinGecko. They're going to look at the top 10, and they're going to see what they think in their mind, because this is what we've been taught financially. They're going to look at the least expensive thing that they can buy, where they have more of it, because it makes them feel like they've done the right thing. It makes them feel like they've done the right thing. So someone who has 1,000 XRP is going to think that they made a better choice, 1,000 digits of XRP, 1,000 XRP. They're going to think that they made a better decision than having 2 Ethereum or 1 Ethereum or half of Ethereum or half of Bitcoin. Because this is how we traditionally have been taught to think. It's not in value in the asset and looking at the value to the marketplace of the asset. And what is the marketplace saying about the value of the asset? That's the difference. So retail is going to come in here. Hang on, look at that top 10. Bitcoin 70 something, or probably when retail gets in, it's probably going to be 90,000, 85, 90,000. 85, 90,000. I'm not taking my $100 and buy a Bitcoin. That's what they're going to say. They're going to look at Ethereum. It's going to be around 5,000, 7,000. They're going to say, I can't get no Ethereum. I can't get a whole Ethereum. I only got 100,000. And they're going to keep going down the line. And my guess is XRP is going to be around 75, 85 cents. That's my guess. I don't know. That's my guess. And they're going to say, I can afford that. And I can get more than that. And so when they look at their app, they say, I have more of this than I would have of Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's how retail acts. You know how I know? Because that's what I did. 2017, when I got XRP. That's what I did. I don't think most people are any different than I am. What do we know? Do they teach us how to value assets? I didn't learn about network adoption and network effects until I got into crypto years later. Retail is going to go through the same, in my opinion, they're going to go through the same learning curve that I went through and that you went through. You know how I know? Because 85 to 90% of people in 2017 did not take profit on their XRP in 2018. 90%. No. Right, because everybody's learning. Nobody knows about this trading and investing and taking. Were any of us traders and investors and taking profit before we got into crypto? The answer is no. Right? 95% of people were not. And ultimately, this market is you listen to my TA guide, the vast majority of this market is driven by human emotions. That's why they got that little chart. It kind of is what it is. Right? Not my rules, the rules, as I like to say. It's not what I think it is, it's what it is that we have to figure out. Right? Gary Cardone, Joe Buddy, Gary Cardone. Yeah, I don't know about Joe saying no new money into XRP unless it finally blows up. There are many new projects. And that's another, can be kind of a new disadvantage. But when you go, again, Joe, the issue with what you're saying, and I see what you're saying, is new retail is not going to get down to, in my opinion, they're not going to get down to newer projects. They're going to hang around the top 20. I mean, they're only going to, go through about 2 pages. Maybe they get down to the top 50. Maybe. But they're going to be exhausted by the time they get down to 20, 25, and 30. They're going to be mentally exhausted. They heard about this space. They heard about Bitcoin going crazy. Do you think they're going to click on Binance Chain and go check out Binance? Do you think they're going to check on, well, they're not even going to look at Solana, right? Because it's not less than $1. You see what I'm saying? They're going to go see what's less than $1 here. What's the cheapest stuff I can get? So maybe some will get into Polkadot, but Polkadot's the same as XRP in terms of been around, in terms of whatever, right? The good thing, the thing, in my opinion, that XRP has an advantage in is that it's in the top 10 and it's less than $1. Will people buy Dogecoin? Probably. Right? So I don't know if, do you think they're going to get down to Casper's less than $1, or is Casper at 25? Is Casper, do you think they're going to get down to here? I don't know. I kind of want to say I doubt it. If you get to 30, I'm just looking at all the stuff. It's polygons, less than $1. I mean, are they going to get to it? Are they going to get the Polygon? Are they going to get the Casper? Maybe. Are they going to look at Stellar, 8 cents? Maybe. All the way down here, 35. Will they get to Stellar? And if they get to Stellar, are they going to buy Stellar ahead of XRP? Probably. Right? It's just, even Arbitrum's less than $1. But that's kind of how I see it. I doubt that they get to the top 30, and I certainly doubt even more that they get to the top 50. And in the top 50, I saw about 5, maybe 6 under $1. That's kind of how I, kind of see it. But so I shared, that, and I'm going to go over this real quick. It's just my opinion. A lot of what this guy says is very, very dangerous and very, very damaging and 99% incorrect, especially when he's talking about Solana and pump and dumps. And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that he is turned into this type of content creator. It really, really is unfortunate. But the reason why I said in reference to Peter Schiff and he's turning into Peter Schiff is Raoul Paul called Peter Schiff out in that video that I shared with you guys. Yeah, it's 3 hours. So, but that little back and forth with him and Tom and Peter Schiff, he said, maybe it's, this thing that you got going on is because you missed it. Is what he said. He said, maybe this thing you got and you're not open and you're not this and that is because you missed Bitcoin. That's what Raoul Paul said to Peter Schiff in that video. And I'll get the link for you guys. This is the 3-hour one. It's the same video, but he just chopped it up until, I think he chopped it up into 2 or 3 20-minute videos. Get your favorite libation. I encourage you to get your favorite libation. Maybe do an hour on, 15 minutes off, so you can get to all 3 hours. But it'll give you a different perspective. It'll give you a different perspective. And for me, I'm supposed to share here. Hold on. This is what happened to the XRP entertaining content creators. He missed Bitcoin. He missed it. So he's going down this rationale path. Yeah, everybody can say, yeah, I bought a little Bitcoin, or I bought some Bitcoin, or yeah, I hold Bitcoin. But when I say missed it, you put the vast, vast majority of your dirty, nasty fiat in an asset, and it wasn't Bitcoin. Because if it was Bitcoin, you'd have a different tune. Because you can't tell me anybody who invested in crypto in 2013 and chose XRP over Bitcoin. is better off. Especially not taking profit in that 2017, 2018 thing. I only came across one person who took profit, who was buying before, I think maybe 2015, buying in 14 and 13, who took profit. I only came across one person who did that. I'm sure there's others, but I only came across one. And that's what I think this is about. I think this is about that. I really, really do. I think it's about that. Let's see something. I think it's about that. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I think about. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's just kind of how I see it. Let's see. Yep. I'm going to share the numbers with you guys here in a second. But here, I want to kind of dispel some of the myths. Remember, he said Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are pump and dumps. And he also said Solana goes out every other day, every other month. It's just going out, right? Let me find the right video. I got it. I got it. That's what I think it is about. Now, is Peter Schiff waking up in the morning trying to harm investors? Does he have it out for digital asset holders because he believes in gold more? He believes gold has intrinsic value and Bitcoin and crypto doesn't have intrinsic value. Is he some bad dude that we need to, have arrested? No, he's a dude with a personal belief in something. That's what he is. He's a dude with a personal belief in something. And when you have a personal belief in something, you can back it up with facts or not. You can back it up with statistics or not. I don't think that the XRP entertaining content creator is a bad dude, but he cannot back up what he's saying with facts and statistics. He's just espousing his personal views and beliefs. That's it. I'm going to share with you someone who goes to the numbers, who goes to the charts, who goes to the statistics, not personal opinions and personal views. It's one of my guys here that I tune into, right? My mentor said, find someone of value and stay for a while. Tune in and stay for a while. Find you some people of value, tune in, and stay for a while. Highly recommend it. All right, let's take a listen here. So you got to go back a little bit further. All right. This is Dennis. YouTube channel is called Virtual Bacon. Just take a listen to it.
You guys an updated price prediction for Solana by the end of this cycle, which is now miles away from my target in 2023. Welcome back to the Virtual Bacon channel. My name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 6 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto startups.
Past 6 years, 2017, 2018. Don't know what his financial background is before, but I have seen him on project boards, if you will, as advisors. I've seen him there. And he says he's invested in over 100 crypto startups as an angel investor. You could take that for what it is. I know that he promotes stuff and I know he does this and that. And I know I'm not a crypto angel investor who has invested in over 100 startups. crypto startups. Are you? Did you get that kind of access? How do you think you can become an angel investor in some stuff? How does that happen? Are the people that you're listening to, are they? That doesn't mean that you can't find value in some other stuff that they say. But perspective is an awesome thing. Different viewpoints. It's an awesome thing.
On this channel, I share views on market trends and investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. Let's start off with the most important updates to Solana since 2023. Remember, in our last video, we have covered Solana's uptime. Is it still crashing regularly? Well, the answer was yes in 2022 and maybe in 2023. You can find all of this on Solana's own uptime tracker. Throughout 2022, Solana had 4 major outages. Then in 2023, there was only 1 day of outage in February, while the rest of the year was all good. And then again, in February of 2024, this year, there was another outage. And so far, there hasn't been any since.
So is that the same as every other day or every month? 1 in 2023 and 1 in 2024. Those are the statistical, factual numbers. But the XRPL has never gone down, right? You want to say like the XRPL, it's never gone down, right? A lot of people want to point to that. A lot of people want to point to that. Harry Casual asked Jungle Inc. something, and Minus responded. Interesting to see how Tron is holding up so well and leading some of the larger altcoins. Now, I responded to that. To me, I said, it's all about the demographics. Tron, Binance Chain. If you know about Justin Sun, Tron understands this, and more importantly, they're what their market wants and needs. I don't know why I left the word out there. They know what their market wants and needs. What the market wants and needs. If you know Tron and Binance Chain, what does this demographic want? And what do they need? Tron and BNB chain lead in what? Stable coins and fun gaming and gambling stuff. That's what these two chains, right? BNB chain says, oh, well, look, these launch pads, people want access to these projects early. They want to be on them. And they leverage that to the tilt. Tron knows their market and knows that they want to get dollars as desperately out of their nation's currency and into dollars. Tron and BNB, especially Tron, rules stablecoins. It's understanding what the market is wanting, not what you think they want, like payments and micro payments. It's understanding and listening to what the market is telling you what they want. Minus Well says it's because Tron has some of the best utility, massive stable coin usage, the highest daily active users, and the biggest gambling ecosystem in crypto. And you go down, and the XRPL is numero last. It's daily active users. Right? Not my numbers, not my personal belief, just what the numbers are. Doesn't mean that can't change, but year to date, these are the numbers. That's not going to take away from a bull run because retail has access to different exchanges. They got access now. They got that cloud of tattle is kind of lightened up a little bit, even though we're still in a lawsuit. So I expect it to do some stuff. I really do. I expect it to do some stuff this bull run. But the most important metric is not the price. Everyone keeps thinking that it is the price. It's not the price. The most important metric, according to the marketplace, is network adoption. People using the chain, on the chain, building on the chain, growing the chain. That's the number one metric. It's not the price. What is the demand for the asset? And it comes from network adoption. The network adoption creates the demand for the native asset on the blockchain. That's how it works. We didn't set up the setup. It's just, it is what it is. Where's that video? Let's continue listening to Dennis here.
These performance metrics are very similar to most other blockchains like Avalanche, Con, Polygon, or even most of the Ethereum layer.
So the numbers and the metrics are the same as the open network, Avalanche, Polychain, Polygon, and even the layer twos like Arbitrum, and Optimism. But if you listen to the XRP entertaining content creators, they would have you believe a different thing. This is why we say all the time, the real big, well, you got to know who your teachers are.
Twos. So for all the Solana haters out there, no, Solana is not crashing regularly. It is just as reliable as all other blockchains out there today. The next most important criteria is decentralization. Is Solana actually centralized today? And why do people think it is? You see, a lot of this centralization talk about Solana is because of its token holder base. FTX, Alameda, and Jump Crypto used to hold a large concentration of all the SOL tokens. But now these have completely been resolved, and the FTX bankruptcy estate has completely been sold off. So since the token is no longer centralized in a few holders, what about the network and its node concentration? Well, today, Solana has over 1,500 validators spanning across all continents in the world. But just because you have a lot of validators doesn't mean all of them can make decisions. Who are the actual power users in this validator list that can collude together to control the network? Well, that answer is about 20 validators. You see here on Solana Beach, it says cumulative stake above forms a super minority, which is usually around 33% for most proof-of-stake blockchains. And this means if the top 20 validators all put their stake together, they could potentially halt the network and censor the network through collusion. Now, this 20 number is not a problem for Solana. Most other proof-of-stake blockchains out there have this problem of collusion among its top stakers. There is a metric specifically aimed to categorize this called Nakamoto coefficient. Simply put, the Nakamoto coefficient is the number of validators in a proof-of-stake network that can collude together in order to control more than 1/3 of all stake on the network, or 33.3%. And you see on all of the top blockchains out there, for Solana, for example, we have 19 Nakamoto coefficient, meaning the top 19 validators can collude. So if you go by this metric, well, a lot of the other blockchains out there are actually much more centralized than Solana. Now, interestingly though, Ethereum here, it says it's 1 Nakamoto coefficient. This isn't actually accurate. According to the official research done by Solana Labs, the Nakamoto coefficient of Ethereum is actually around 20. This is because it takes about 50% of the entire network's stake in order to control the Ethereum network versus the 33% required to control Solana. So when you compare the Nakamoto coefficient of Ethereum versus Solana, they are actually very similar. It takes around 20 entities together to control the network. Now, there are two major caveats here. Number one is that Solana is actually a smaller market cap coin versus Ethereum. This means the 20 validators, all of their stakes to collude together, actually takes a less amount of capital, less amount of money in order to attack the network. Versus on Ethereum, even though there are the same 20 validators that you need to control, it takes a much larger amount of money in order to make them all collude. With this point considered, it's economically much more difficult to attack Ethereum versus to attack Solana. The second caveat when talking about decentralization is around staking pools. You see, on Solana, the top 20 validators here are actually all separate. They're not a single large staking pools that take up a huge percentage. However, this is a problem on Ethereum with pooled staking and liquid staking. As you can see on the pie chart breakdown, Lido currently controls 29% of all Ethereum staking among its validators, with some of the other large pools controlling 16% and 12%. So if we consider staking pools as single entities that can work all together, the actual amount of entities that can collude together to control Ethereum becomes very risky. Take a look at this. The number of entities that can take up more than 50% of the network's stake of Ethereum is actually 3. So if you control Lido, Coinbase, and this unidentified staking pool, you effectively control nearly 60% of all Ethereum staking. This is a big problem that has just been started since Ethereum fully transformed to proof of stake. And this is a big reason why so many teams are working on decentralizing these staking pools and bringing up more liquid staking providers to solve this problem. I think most of these players, including Lido, don't have the intention to destroy Ethereum. So I see this problem will be eventually solved, but
I've been trying to pause that for the last 2.5 minutes, right? So that unidentified thing is the thing that, you know, we are looking into as the XRP army, right? That unidentified, the unidentified, right? Doesn't that kind of speak to the unidentified whales and the blah, 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 blah? Remember that? 16.3% of that ETH stake is in that unidentified, right? He says this is a bigger problem for Ethereum. But my point is, he is not being biased towards any particular project. He's pointing out the good and the bad. He's pointing out the potential challenges and the things that are not accurate, not correct as well, right? Not a personal, I've been holding an asset since 2013 and it hasn't performed as well as the other assets that I could have chosen. The other asset that I could have chosen. I don't know if you want to count the Bitcoin forks or not. I don't know when those started. Well, actually, they started after that. So I think that might have been Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. You know, it's the kind of the deal. As kind of the deal. Hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. No, I know what you're saying, but you didn't tell me that beforehand. Well, you know, I do lives a long time. So, let me share this here. All right. So, I think that's hugely important to kind of note that about him. I think it's more of an unbiased, level-headed approach to kind of sharing some stuff.
at the current stage, it's actually very risky for Ethereum, and we have to give this point to Solana. With its current top 20 validators, this is actually a much more healthy staking pool divide versus Ethereum. Okay, moving on from decentralization, let's talk about some of the performance upgrades of Solana. How fast is Solana today? According to research done by CoinGecko with real benchmarks from mainnet transactions, Solana is able to process around 1,000 transactions per second. This is actually ranking #1 in the entire blockchain industry. The trailing second and third place are Sui at 850 TPS and BSC at 380. Now, there is one major upgrade that has just been released to Solana called ZK compression. TLDR, ZK compression is very similar to proto-dank sharding that has just gone live on Ethereum. It essentially is a protocol upgrade to bring the storage of Solana transactions to a much cheaper part of the chain's storage. So ZK compression aims to store state on cheaper ledger space instead of the more expensive account space. This allows applications to scale to millions of users. This storage part is the compression. Now, the ZK of this upgrade is used to ensure the integrity of this compressed state, this smaller piece of storage. So what does this look like today? Loading. Let's take a look at a few examples here of Solana versus, for example, Ethereum. So the number of active addresses on the Ethereum network per month is averaging around 10 to 15 million active addresses per month. When looking at Solana, even though they were trailing behind Ethereum in 2023 at around 7 to 8 million active addresses per month, this number has completely exploded since the beginning of this year, going to 20 million, then now reaching almost over 40 million active addresses. So there are twice as many different addresses that are active, trading and using Solana blockchain every day, twice as much versus Ethereum. Here's another more in-depth chart comparing daily active addresses and the trends between them. And this chart tells a similar story. So you see in the summer of 2023, Solana was showing a little bit less daily active users than Ethereum, but since the beginning of 2024, this number has continued to go up. So the daily active user count is continuing to increase.
And again, let me leave this for you guys here. Let me leave this link for you guys. I'm going to leave the link for this video for you guys. Bald Silverback says Virtual Bacon is a good follow due to Sharp. Yeah. So there's a link to that video as well. So I left you the link to Raul Paul and what's his name? Peter Schiff and Tom Bayou. And I left you this link here as well for you to do your homework, right? So for you to do your deal and stuff like that. No, that's not what I said, XRP Kelly. I said in the fall of 2024 is when I believe Bitcoin gets to this 85, 90, maybe even higher range. And this is what I think retail is going to begin to come in, right? So when you talk to the macro people, when you talk to the TA people, they're all expecting this cycle to kind of top around somewhere around July of 2025 to December of 2025, but not begin until around fall of 2024, if at all. It'd be around the fall time frame of 2024. So that's just the beginning, right? But a price prediction, people got all kinds of different price predictions for where XRP is going to be. And those are all cool, but that doesn't equate to network adoption. That's speculation, right? And so I'm just kind of taking that number as opposed to where Bitcoin is going to be by the beginning this new thing where retail is going to begin to come in, where new net liquidity is going to begin to come into the market. This is, all the experts are saying it's about fall of 2024. But they're expecting the cycle. So in 2025, I don't expect XRP to be 74 cents. I expect XRP to do some stuff, but I don't know, guessing on the price is really just guessing on what that price is going to be. For me, what I would rather look at is the network adoption to begin to kind of figure out what the price will be. In other words, how many people are going to be hopping on the ledger in different various apps and DeFi and using the Ripple stablecoin? That's what I would look at to begin to see a price. So he was part of DuckDAO and it was very blunt about getting it before the release, the way to really make gains. Okay, Virtual Break is a good file experience. So just wanted to kind of give you that different perspective. And again, you listen to that interview with Peter Schiff and Tom Bayou and Raul Paul, it's very much, these are my personal beliefs, and this is how I feel. And since I don't hold the thing that you hold that has outperformed the thing that I hold, I'm going to try to throw shade on it. And in my opinion, this is what the XRP entertaining content creator is doing. The same thing. And just for reference, if you go to statistics, you go to the data like my guy Virtual Bacon is doing, This is a chart from Into the Cryptoverse that allows you to check past history on providing a lump sum of money into Bitcoin or dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. And it compare it to Ethereum, to Solana, to XRP, and to Maker. So you can put, this is compared to Bitcoin. You can put your dollar amount. You can put 100, you can put 1,000, you can pay 10,000. It doesn't matter because everybody's putting in the same amount. And you can do your dollar cost average in there, right? And this is from, this is a lump sum since January of 2013, right? And this is a lump sum. There's the return for Bitcoin. Here's the return for Bitcoin. There's the return for Ethereum, right? Just, again, 2013, $100 would be 421,000 in Bitcoin. Ethereum would be 108,000. Solana would be 15,000. XRP would be 7,000. Maker would be $177. And then you can do the same thing. You can do a dollar cost average from 2013. DCA, equal amount, $100, 138 months. Right? Because XRP is 2012. So you do it there with a dollar cost average strategy. ETH outperforms Bitcoin. Has the highest return, 17,916%. 138 months of investing $100 would have netted you $2,486. In Bitcoin, it would have netted you $2,027,000. In XRP, it would have been 304,000. In Solana, it would have been 125,000. Solana, right? It just got started, and then there's Maker, right? But if you compare Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP, all of which have been around, right? XRP 2012, Bitcoin, whenever, Ethereum essentially 2015, later, fewer years than XRP. The numbers are the numbers, right? The numbers are the numbers, fam. All right. There it is, guys. Look, I'm gonna hop off here. Yeah, it's Into the Cryptoverse, like INTO, Cryptoverse.com. Cryptoverse, VERSE. So you can do a DCA and you can do a lump sum. That tool is free, Hydro. That tool is free. So just to let you know, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If you didn't do so on the way in, please do so on the way out. That would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. And if you happen to be in that like 45, 50% of people who are hanging out, listening, and watching the Crypto Siege who haven't subscribed to the channel, if you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We'd like to get that number down from 50% to about 25% or so. That would be super, super cool. And you can do your part in making that happen. So listen, I'm going to end this live stream like I do all of my live stream, guys, and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.